HTML tutorials. In the last session, we were discussed about how we can create a HTML page and how we can write the header tags, paragraphs, and paragraph breaks and line breaks. We have discussed about the tables and how we can apply the styles to the tables. In this session, we'll discuss about the difference between elements and attributes, and each and every elements defined with an a tag. So which means when we go to here, when we are trying to write this one, and here we are writing the HTML tag, right? And these are called elements. We have head and we have style, and also we have h1 element and h2 element and paragraph. These all we call it as an elements. So when you define any of the elements, and inside that we will see the attribute. For example, this is an element, this is an anchor element, and inside that we have an href, and this href we call it as an attribute, and this target also called as an attribute of this element tag. So like this we have a different type of elements, and even we have an nested elements also, that we can say now this is an HTML element. Inside that we have an nested head element, under that we have an nested style element. The same way we have a table element, and inside that we have an tr as a nested, and we under that we have a td as a nested, and each and every element which is defined as a tag and which must and should have a closed element. So some of the element does not have the closed element, closure tag. So for example, you can see this break. So this break doesn't have any closed tag. So that's why these type of elements we called as an empty element. This empty element does not have any closed tags. And coming back to the attributes will define with a kind of values. For example, this is an href, and this href contains a value named as https office.com, and most of the times when you are writing in the editors, it accepts the double quotes, and you can see the double quotes as well. So if you have a double quotes, it will work. I'm saving this. Come back to our HTML page. In the HTML page, when you refresh, and when I click this one, I can able to open this in a new tab. And the same way, when you go back to your code, and if I put a single quote for this, use single quote instead of double quote, use single quote, close it and save it, and then try to open it in the browser. When you are opening in the browser, we have used a single quote, still it is working. So which means when you are writing the attribute values, you can use a single quotes or a double quotes also. And also we have plenty of different attributes also available. When you are writing the anchor tag, we have seen href and the target. These are the attributes. And also when you try to write some kind of css code, also when you are applying something on the paragraph, for example, in the paragraph I'm trying to apply some color coding on the paragraph, I can able to write a style. Now here the style is also an attribute, and then if I try to apply color, some indigo color for this, just save it, then come back, refresh, see this color is applied to this, and this style is now attribute, and this is an attribute of this element. So this way we can identify what is element and what is the attribute. And attribute will give a lot of flexibility in the HTML. For example, you are writing the JavaScript code and jQuery code, and you have any of these elements also, you can call elements, and you can call the attributes as well. For example, I'm writing this table, I can able to define an ID for this one, and this is, I can give a single quotes and I can give office. Okay, now this is the attribute of this table. Now I defined this ID. Whenever you are using the code, you want to call this table, and you are giving a unique identity to this table using this attribute. So that is the major difference between this attribute and elements. And so we already discussed elements have the nested elements that we discussed about, like HTML head, body, and table, tr, td, like that. And one more thing, elements are not case sensitive, and this is also important. Elements are not case sensitive. We'll discuss about that. So we are writing this h1 tag here. I'll change to big, and I'll change to big. Done. I'm saving this one, and it is saved. Go back to this and then refresh it. There is no difference on this, and you can use a capital letters or small letters, which means elements are not case sensitive. You can use anything. And elements have attributes that we discussed. We have a paragraph and I have written style, and it is applying to that style as well. And we have attributes have values. We already discussed. Href have the value, and the value we defined as an https office.com, and it is working. And we can use a single quotes or double quotes for that. Double quotes for attribute values, yes, we can use any of that one that we seen real time. We already checked about this. Okay, that is a major difference between the elements and attributes. Thanks for watching my video.